Hello. Welcome to this episode of the Just Saying podcast. I am Costa, the creator. With me is Tavi and Ashley.
Yep. AKA Ash.
AKA Ash.
Yeah.
So, in this episode, we're talking about what's better, to seek permission or to ask for forgiveness.
Yeah. Hey.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. It don't depend on
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah.
I've noticed over every time I've gone ahead and just done certain things, even positive things, where I've come up with a great idea and I've just gone ahead without seeking permission.
Consultation.
Even for my friends. You know, sometimes you kill a good idea because you're asking 40 people.
Yeah.
Which is my Achilles heel. I've got so many friends, so I'd ask everybody, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? I want to write a book about this. What do you think about this? A lot of times you don't get far. But if you decide, let me just write the book.
And then ask for your permission.
Then
is it a good book or
yes, or not. Afterwards, it's done.
Yeah.
And
you know?
see, sometimes the challenge with doing that is some people will tell you it's a bad idea, not because it's a bad idea, but because it's a brilliant idea. And they now think, you know what? I think I can do this better than this guy.
Yeah, that could be the case also.
I get that.
That could be the case. But
Especially
also,
fellow creatives.
yeah, but also it could be just oblivious, not seeing the vision of another person. Go, I want to go say, so you say it can't be done.
Yeah.
You'll be looking at it and it's like, Tabishamar.
Yeah.
Come on, stop that. Just stay in your lane, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you want to quit your job?
Yeah.
Why you want to do that?
You've got a company car.
Yeah,
What
you
you
know.
talking about?
So you're gonna be taking photos for a living?
Dude, are you
You're like,
serious?
really?
Can't you do that on the weekend?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can do that on the weekend or after hours.
Is that a hobby?
Is that a hobby?
Are you keep it as a hobby, boss. You
and
don't
you're gonna
wanna
buy a
do that.
$2,000
Sounds
camera?
like creatives bitching here.
It could be both, yeah.
Yeah.
Because but you're now in the street.
No, it's not both. There's another one now.
What's the other one?
The other one is I heard this one from Jay-Z on Hot 97, one of those radio shows. He was talking about how an uncle of his, I think it was his mom's brother,
Yeah.
always used to tell him that he would never make it as a rapper.
Yeah.
He said because he loved, have you seen how many sales LL Cool J is making?
Yeah.
There's no way
You
ever
can
gonna
do that.
Exactly.
So he says, at first, when he was growing up, he was like, my uncle doesn't believe in me. But now, as he got older, he started understanding it. It was coming from a place of fear and wanting to protect you.
Right.
Like, why would you waste your life on this is a gamble.
Yeah.
This is working for you.
Mm.
And you're actually making money. Exactly what you said about the job. You're actually making money and you got a company car.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, so I love you so much. I don't want you to get hurt.
Right.
You know, so it's also, he said it was like a portrayal or reflection of their insecurities, their own insecurities.
Exactly.
But I think also, I think what I've learned over time is you, the individual, also you need the maturity to know that sometimes when people tell you things, even though it goes against what you believe, it's not always in the spirit of like malice. Sometimes munatori concerned.
Yeah.
They love you so much
Yeah.
that they don't want to see you make a mistake.
Yes.
Right.
And usually just following the mold.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. It's interesting considering the jobs we're in, guys.
Yeah.
There's so many naysayers, bro. You
Yeah.
have no.
Yeah.
You know this.
I know this.
Well,
I know this.
Everybody knows it in some. If you're a creative in some way or another.
Creatives bitching 101.
Creative bitch. No, but in life generally, people would tend to give you advice based on their own personal situation. So if right, it's a thing. You're talking about a very interesting thing. Some other day, you're talking about fleas.
oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Say that thing again. The conditioning that we told. This is part of exactly what we're talking about here, because
Say it again.
say it the way you said. You know a lot about fleas, my brother.
What are you saying?
Say Say
I
it.
don't
you know
know
what
a
it is?
lot about fleas.
You know what it is about creatives again. I'm just going to digress for a second. We know a whole lot about things that are weird, and I love that about us, because I can tell you right now, on a side note, every time an ant gets drunk, it always falls to the left.
Yeah.
That's
What?
not. Yeah,
If an ant gets drunk,
it dies. Yakatarisa ku left.
I'm-
In the one side. Inenge
I'm
left.
writing a book on that called Useless Information. It dies on the left. Yeah.
That's
Ashley
what it
told
does.
me about this. a long
That's
time
what it
ago.
does. But it's stuff like that then gives you perspective on life.
Yeah.
Which is what you're about to tell us right now. What do you say
Yeah.
about them fleas, man?
so
Yes.
I was watching a TikTok video.
Yeah.
And there was a scientist. He had a jar and like some fleas, and he put them in the jar and closed the jar, and then said that leaving these fleas in the jar, they'll be trying to escape. So every time they're trying to escape, they hit the
ceiling.
lid. Yeah. So after a couple of days, if you remove the lid, none of them will
Jump out.
jump out, because they've been conditioned
To stay at that
to
level.
stay at that level.
Mm.
And then their offspring will also not
Go beyond that.
go beyond that.
Yeah. So you see, that's an analogy of life, actually. If speaking on the whole asking for forgiveness and permission thing, do you think that the guy in a village where the highest level person had a bicycle had gone to the bicycle guy and said, do you think I can buy a car? I'm thinking of buying a car. What do you think was going to happen?
That's impossible, man.
Like, no, the
car.
best you can do is buy a mountain bike.
A mountain
Yeah.
bike with dope-ass
dope-ass
and
wheels.
great spokes
And
and
great spokes.
you
That's
know,
what you can do, my
The
like.
car has
got
got a
a
lot of
radio.
problems.
Hey,
yeah,
Car,
car's got
lot of
problems.
Hey,
You're
no
gonna need
problem.
a mechanic.
You're gonna need
service,
petrol.
you're gonna-
Oh my
You
God.
have no flipping idea.
You have no flipping idea. So sometimes, the reason why I'm saying this, guys, sometimes, like in Nike, just do it.
So bringing it back to permission or,
Yeah.
or asking for
Yeah.
forgiveness.
Mm.
What about kumba?
Kumba, kanotara kumba, you mean
Marriage.
marriage?
Yeah.
Okay. It depends, I think. Like any situation, yeah. Some decisions you just have to make and bear the consequences of
Yeah.
them. Because some decisions will never be made.
Yeah.
There will never be a consensus on some decisions.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So someone has to just say,
Can you give an example?
okay. Okay. Let me try and give a simple example. You've got a child, and it's your son, and you've got a choice between taking him to this school A or school B, right? But your income does not really allow you to take them to school A. But you know you can afford school B, and school B is equally as potent as school A.
Yes.
But because of someone in that setup, I'm not going to say it's the woman. I'm not saying that, but most times it is. Would that make those decisions based on
What are my friends doing?
what are my friends doing?
What will
or
people think?
What will
What do
people
people
think?
think?
Most guys don't do that. Some do, but most guys are more practical, from my experience.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that at some point you're gonna say to yourself, as a guy, yeah, all right, ndakutoendesa mukomana kuschool B, tozodila nenyaya yacho later.
The fallout.
Yeah, the fallout will come, but then at the end of the day, you've made the decision. Those are mumba sometimes part of the executive decision making. It's not always that you're going to be agreeable to everything, either from your wife's side or the husband's side. But at some point, if it's good for the family, just make the decision and move. That's your role as a man.
But the thing is this: everyone thinks what they're doing is good, whether
Mm.
it's the wife or
Yeah.
the guy. The wife is thinking, "Look, Moneda and our private school,
Yeah.
you know." I
I
know there's a reason that people give.
Yeah,
What
Opportunities open. and-
yes.
What if your lighties doesn't even think that way?
And Tavi, for you, what do you think about permission in the marriage context?
I think, okay, like Ash just said, if you're the head of the family and you're the vision bearer, which obviously woke generation does not agree with, but my generation does. Yes, you will talk about it because your wife is supposed to be your support. She sees reason. She's supposed to help you with strategy. That's how it was back in the days anyway. The queen would actually be the strategy behind the king. But at the end of the day, you then as the king then look at all the pluses and minuses according to your discussion and make the final decision.
Exactly.
Then if you F up,
you take the brunt of that.
then you take the
decision.
brunt and you apologize.
You're like, oh,
and you start again.
I done fucked up.
Yeah.
You
But
have
sometimes, even if there is no consensus, you just gotta say, "Hey."
You see,
Let's do it.
even if, let me tell you this, even if you make the decision to the latter to say you go with school A, the A school, and that gets fucked up too, you still own the decision as a man.
Because you agreed.
Because you agree.
Yes, you still.
You own every decision.
You own every decision.
So damned if you do,
No,
damned
wait,
if you don't.
You don't own every decision.
What
you
you
own
do-
every decision if it fails.
Oh, so the
So
good
if-
decision is we did this together.
Exactly.
Ah.
So if the
no,
kid
no,
goes
the
to
good
private
decision,
school,
yeah.
yeah.
She will say, I came up with the decision.
Right.
But a bad decision,
Is cool. What were you doing in the first place?
that's a T-shirt.
Yeah. Well, it's not normally the
Yeah.
case. I'm
Let me
just
give
saying-
another example. First time I heard that line was from one of my closest friends. Shout out to Stavo. When you go out at night with the boys, and it's now like midnight or it's 10 p.m. And the party's just started, just begun.
Yeah.
You know,
Nyaya Zurufaya.
Robbie T is playing on the decks, and
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, now it's happening. Even though you told your wife you'll be home by 10, sometimes
The
it's
party's
better.
only starting at
That is only starting at 11. Sometimes it's better to put your phone on flight mode and get home at 5.
Because what's
Then-
the difference?
Yeah, and then apologize.
After 1 o'clock, what's the difference?
What's the difference? Because if you're going to send a text and say, sweetie, the party's just begun, is it okay if I come back at 5?
Obviously not.
Thank you very much.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. I get.
It ain't going to happen.
And once one goes after 1 o'clock,
Yeah.
But
you're gonna
now
get into
the question
trouble.
is now,
Yes.
what if this is every Friday?
Yeah, that's a pattern.
No, that's a pattern.
That's a pattern.
That's a
Can I have
pattern. It's
pattern? Then mautongo wirana kuti
Yeah.
ini nanja uye before 5.
Yeah. Then you can just say, you know what, sweetie, this is how I roll.
This is how I roll.
But there are times where, I don't go out as often, like late. So once in a while, if I'm with the boys and because I've got a pattern of coming home at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
and if I was to ask for permission, chances are the answer will be no. What's changed? So you're better off just.
Okay. The next question would be, do you have to ask for permission as a man in your own house?
Look, I think
Good question.
I'm just asking because you know what? I've come from the old school. The old school, our Bali's never done that.
They didn't ask for shit.
They didn't say it.
no visas.
We're simps.
Visa.
Nah, modern day men were weak, man. We got no balls.
Visa? Visa, mfana. We're not in a fucking country. This is my house.
I pay the bills, but I'm always asking for.
Okay, but guys, this is like one context. Now imagine we're
No,
talking
yeah,
about finances,
Uh-huh.
or maybe not finances, but life choices where maybe you're considering relocating to a different country.
Right.
What happens then? Or maybe you want to make an investment as a guy to say, okay, maybe they can only school fees so that I can get this deal done.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
those
tricky.
my decisions, my man.
Because those are some of the decisions men have to make where it's
Yeah.
like someone's not paying school fees, not because mariachi apana,
Yeah, the money's there,
but it's
It's just
maybe there's an
opportunity.
opportunity.
but there's that tender.
Yeah.
or that work permit that needs maybe 5,000 US.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, let me get that permit,
Yeah.
then
Then
Worry about.
what about it? Let me go to Canada or whatever. Then worry about the school fees after.
You see that? Okay. I think it's acceptable to do that in the context of the greater good for the family. Okay. If the amount of money that we're talking about, let's say 5,000 for the visa or whatever,
Yeah.
is, and then if I use that same money, let's say, okay, pane Mario school fees.
Yeah.
No, I don't think chibora. No think I got a new motor or no upgrade. Motor yangu inini.
Yeah.
And it's got nothing to do with
school
with the whole family.
Yeah.
Family dynamic. You're being a dick.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you being a dick.
No, but doesn't that depend on how the wife sees your priority list?
Because
Because you could think, let's say your job is construction. You think this truck, let me sort out this truck.
You're not getting what I'm saying. I'm getting
No, I got you. I know it's
okay, extreme opposite.
Eh.
And you tell out my decisions that you know itaka.
Because I've been in those kind of situations where I'll buy an iMac for $3,000.
But that's gonna work, ka. It's gonna do something.
But there's nothing in the
But
fridge.
that's your perspective now as a creator.
Yeah.
And as
But
a
there's
man,
nothing in the fridge. She's thinking you could have bought a $500 computer.
Yeah, you see, Papa man. I'm saying the Panama levels for the greater good of, let's say, whatever it is that the amount of money is going to be used for versus what it gains the whole family, not just you. Do you get my meaning? Kuti, okay, let me give an extreme example. $2,000. But it's gonna be you guys can twist this one as well. But $2,000.
Say it.
Don't think a golf set, brand new golf set.
Yeah.
Or school fees. Yemwana for the next 2 terms. Yes, it's necessary. In just when I golf
networking, what.
networking.
Yeah.
That's where we're going with that. But
Yeah.
that's that now. Panema level you decision making a bit weird. But my decision not of foreigners.
Yeah.
So, but if
I've made those kind of decisions. That's why I'm like listening attentively.
golf set instead of school fees.
Yeah, that kind of decision.
Ayo, you're okay. I've known you for long. You're incapable of selfishness.
No, it's not selfishness.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm thinking golf set, networking. Then we make a certain amount of money.
Yeah,
Then my family will be sorted.
I get it. But
This is just one term that the child has missed. My child is smart enough to
connect.
Yeah. But I can't miss this opportunity.
You see, there's opportunity and then there's just I want this thing.
No, this won't be. That's why your example is actually good. In someone's eyes, he's being selfish buying a golf set. In my eyes, it's for the family because I'm going to network.
But then
Fantastic.
I think it has to be, for me,
within reason.
I think definition equals with selfishness then comes with, all right, when is the payoff and how far is it?
Yes.
Because if it's ambiguous, like we generally hear that networking will, increase.
No, but as creatives, it's always ambiguous, isn't it?
But you have to have some point because
Costa, you built this whole amazing studio, right? This was a gamble. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
I don't care if you say it was calculated, you had a business plan, whatever, but it was a gamble.
Yeah, but this one.
A calculated one.
No, this one.
There's
this one
no way
is
you're
meant
gonna
to
spend
make money.
$20,000.
No, but I
expecting that
I could quantify.
Yes.
All right.
School me.
Based off once the studio is done, I'll be able to do X amount of shoots.
Yes.
And these times I can
At this
calculate how much the return is going to be, and then I can make a decision based off how much I'm spending. But okay, is it worth my child not going to school for the term? If I finish the studio and things work out, and I get 100% of what I'm expecting, is it enough? Does it justify the decision?
Okay, what was that based on? Those calculations.
Based on, because
Was it based on a smaller project you would have done, or it was just?
no, I'm saying the example I'm giving is, look, we don't have kids, but say we had kids,
Yeah.
and maybe there was a decision to pay school fees for maybe 2-3 terms,
Yeah.
or invest in this space, and so in this space there's lots of different things that are there, and each of them can produce an income. So I'm now looking at, okay, over the next, say, a term, 3-4 months, whether it's a term or 2 terms, 4 months is also like, how much would I have made back? Does it justify me not paying this rent at home, or not doing whatever responsibility that is allotted to me? Or do I spend this money there and hope that the returns will be enough to justify the action? That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't take a gamble on something that I can't measure. Look. Sometimes it happens that what you expect and what comes out are different. But the variance actually shouldn't be so great that it's like, like, what are you doing? Have you even considered like the risks? What's the likelihood of this thing succeeding also? I don't know if I'm making sense or overanalyzing, I guess.
No. You're making sense.
Yeah. Because what it is that, like, okay, maybe the example I gave may not. Okay, let's put it this way. If you were to what the opportunity cost of your decision, right? You're giving up 2 terms for what? For what gain?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For what gain? So you're saying you're giving up 2 terms. Let's say it's $5,000.
Yeah.
Those with that $5,000, what have you produced?
Has
That $5,000 paid for itself within the time that you've allotted for the terms or whatever it is? By end of it, are you making a decision that then will surpass?
Because when you're
what
asking
you're
for
about to-
forgiveness,
Yeah.
when you're asking for forgiveness, what are you saying?
Okay, I get you. So, like, for example, I spend, let's say, $10,000 on a song.
Yeah.
I buy rights from Lauryn Hill or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I skip 2 months or 2 terms or a year's school fees.
Yeah.
Right, for that.
Yeah.
In those 12 months, worst case scenario,
Yeah.
can I defend and say
It was worth it.
it was worth it?
Exactly.
Worst case scenario, and that song flops.
Yes.
Can I still stand and say it was worth it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
yes.
then there's also
Right.
another aspect to that. If you took the money and then you only brought back what you took out, was it worth the child not going to school for the year? Because I feel like in a situation like that, I guess also depending on how old is the child, what part of education they are.
Yeah, but
I
Krisha
think-
in Abasam that.
Yeah, well, for some,
For some,
that's a
you
debate.
must, that's
Aywa.
for some, that's a debate that they'll die on that hill.
Yeah, all right, fine.
Yeah, a lot of marriages have broke
Because of
because of preschool. Ah.
yeah, but okay.
My thing now is when, say, I've taken the risk. Say I gambled with 10, 15K.
Yeah.
And then we make 20, 30, 50K. Because the other thing is when you decide to go the asking for forgiveness route, your partner is not going to be quiet
Oh yeah.
along the ride.
There will be commentary along the way.
Yes.
There will be
Commentary.
So can you work with that commentary? Can you fly that plane
Yeah.
with commentary?
Because when you go
Oh, now there's turbulence.
as
There's turbulence. It's because of you.
every other second sentence is Jimika Wema Golf Club.
Yes.
Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I take a wood. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, fun enough, because I've made those kind of mistakes and I take blame. full blame as a creative. And I lecture this a lot in some of my master classes about how I've learned that there's the nice to have sometimes as a creative.
Yes.
And then there's the
must-haves.
So I've also spent that kind of money, where I've thought, I believe in this dream, and like when you're talking about the golf clubs, that was a great example, but it wasn't golf clubs, but it was like with my music. So you ask yourself, is there another alternative? Or still doing the same? So you're not letting go of the project.
No.
So like if it's golf clubs, for example, I can't give an example of my music because people start Googling and saying, oh, so that's what he did. If it's golf clubs, what if you borrow golf clubs from Costa?
Yeah.
Can you still achieve the same
goal?
Exactly.
Goal? So now that's how I look. And I started this like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Now I think to myself, okay, I really want to record this. Yes, I cannot afford
What's the minimum
this
viable?
$10,000
minimum viable product.
Yes. Oh, wow, okay, that's deep. I cannot afford this super producer who wants 10,000. But maybe if I learn an instrument or learn how to do it myself and then put together something for $50 or work with someone from Fiverr or whatever, so that I do not gamble with this, but I'm still not quitting on. I'm still pushing this thing that I believe in, but I'm not risking, like he rightfully put, that whole risk factor. I'm not risking this. Then when I've proven that with the little that I had, check, sweetie, I managed to get this. Can we now gamble with 10,000 and pay Timberland or whatever? Because for the past 3 years, you've seen what I've succeeded with. Just using $20, $30.
And I think it's good
Track
so
record.
that you can build a track record.
Do a track record. So in the case of Costa, for example, he didn't just start by spending 20 giga or whatever on the studio.
Yeah.
He started off with his little camera
And
getting his clients, a smaller studio, hiring out studios.
Yeah.
So he was building a client base, gambling with what was okay. And then over time, he could now say, I've got this track record. So if I gamble with this bigger space, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. What's the worst that could happen?
So that was more mature.
Those
so
are
there you can actually
Those
say
are famous last words.
a famous last words.
But I think one thing that we are neglecting to mention is Kazunji Kacho, your wife is not going to be cool with some of these decisions.
Lots of times.
And she's going to be chemsing the whole way.
Yeah.
Commentary.
You see.
Yeah.
But then for me, my thing is this. The same energy that someone had.
Keep the same energy.
Yes.
If it works out,
We need a
Please.
t-shirt like that.
you need to keep the same energy.
Please.
You know what? You
Please.
were right.
You were right. In fact, no, not you are right. You are a fucking genius. You are a gift to mankind.
Yes.
You are a god.
I am
never-
blessed
I am
to have
blessed
you in my
to
life.
have you in my life.
And then we wake up.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can start the day now.
No, for real. Because you know what? There's nothing wrong with having somebody being a devil's advocate. But it's got to be done in a constructive way.
Yeah, what's good for the goose
Yeah.
is good for the
It's
gander.
got to be
It has
one of those,
both, both ways.
you say you want to do this, but what are the risk factors? What are this, what are that, what are this? I don't agree with you because based on this. But anyway, if you do decide to do it, please remember, I've
To
mentioned
address
this
these
and this
things,
and
yeah.
this.
And I feel like,
As
as we're talking, I feel like there's some simps out there thinking, how could you do that? You need to make sure that you get consent all the time.
I'm done.
But let me tell you one thing as a man that you
Yeah.
cannot get away from.
As a real man.
If you put yourself in a dilemma if you are a simp, because as a man there has to be progress, because after we've been together for 5 years, 10 years, we cannot be if you're in the same place, you're gonna have issues.
Yeah.
But for you to move forward, you're going to need to take risks. You're going to need to be uncomfortable. And sometimes the more uncomfortable you are, the bigger the payout.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes not everyone will get the vision of where you're trying to go.
No. No.
But if you're simping, you want world peace, holding hands,
Kumbaya,
you know, kumbaya and all of that. But that's hardly the nature of success. You know, success sometimes requires you to do things, walk alone where very few people get what you're doing. You know, but if you are uncomfortable enough to be disagreeable with your spouse or ask for forgiveness, then you're in for a ride.
Yeah,
I like that.
I think that's a good conclusion in my book.
I really like that.
Yeah. So, don't ask for permission, guys. Go do it.
Yeah.
Go do it.
Unless, of course, you're a simp then.
Yeah, unless of course. And when I say don't ask for permission, this does not include sexual intercourse.
Get consent.
Sexual adventures.
No.
Get consent.
Unoenda kujeri and nobody has
Before the hug, ask. Before the kiss, ask. Before unbuttoning one button, before you get to the second button, ask.
Are we talking about our wives here? Or this is now another.
Even your wife.
This is
apparently. Oh shit!
Even
by the way,
wife.
Is that now a law in Zimbabwe? You can rape your wife?
No, I think it's always been there.
It's always been there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure about that one.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
But now the levels now,
Yeah.
this whole consent thing is actually.
Yeah.
You gotta.
That's why some celebrities sign, what do you call it?
Yes.
NDAs.
You sign an NDA. You have cameras everywhere.
Yeah, like this is me. I'm in sober senses. I am agreeing to.
Yes.
To nasty shit with this person.
I'm now feeling horny. You know, even after the first round, you want to go to the next round, you still have to go back to
consent.
So should we do it again? Right. Should I flip you over?
So much romance, huh?
Yeah, because someone can say...
So intimate.
Someone can say you flipped me over and I didn't want to be flipped over.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Woke culture nonsense.
Are we still talking about our wives here?
I think
we're just messing.
Remember, we're just saying, Costa. We're just saying.
Yeah.
Some of these things no go venta.
We just see these things on Instagram.
Remember to comment, like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, those who disagree, please tell us.
Tell
we
us
want
why.
to know so that
tell us why you are wrong.
Yes, tell us why you're wrong, so we can ignore you.
Like that. We're just saying.
But we're just saying, guys.